be ballin'. Sue Bird. Sue Bird in the clutch. I be ballin'. Rota William. Hey, welcome to another episode of I be ballin' basketball show. Yeah, today we're gonna review a good documentary called Sue Bird in the Clutch. But before we do that, introducing Rota Williams. My cousin, we like to do movie reviews. Yeah, hopping on each other's YouTube channels. Tell them a little bit about the road to William. William?
Um, yeah, over at Road to William, I just be in my own world, chilling, inviting people through with interviews. I interview people starting from the mill, but yeah, just doing reviews and just living life. Vlogs coming soon. I'm trying to get out of my anxiety mode and just vlog, but baby steps.
Okay, baby steps
I
a
see
little
you
blow.
vlogging. I see when you be vlogging at the Bucks games. You be posting on the Snappy Chatty, Snap Chatter.
Maybe I should do the YouTube thing with the blogging when I go there.
Yeah, with the yeah.
Yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to Road to William. Head over to the channel. You learn a lot about a lot of icons. And even local icons, like you said.
Yeah, I just dropped a Chippy interview. He's from Milwaukee. He's the first person that recorded me at a studio, at his home studio. I interviewed him and we talked about his business. He's a wedding DJ and stuff. So go check out that interview if you ever need a wedding DJ. Sound Love Audio, throwing them out there. But yeah.
Okay, maybe I can get married one day and call him up, Chippy.
Chippy.
Oh, okay. Let's get Chippy. Just kidding. Okay, we're gonna start with Sue Bird in the clutch. I wasn't even looking for this. I I just was looking for like WNBA documentaries and I stumbled upon this one. This one came out this year. Didn't know nothing about it, but it's on Netflix. If you guys want to check it out, it's a really great documentary. I love basketball documentaries. You get to see behind the scenes of basketball life and you get to know the person and learn, a little bit of the ins and outs, what they were going through. But um what I like to start with movie reviews is if you could describe this movie in one word, what would it be? Um, Mine would just be journey, because you they took you from different childhood. Sue Bird grew up in Long Island, so they showed us from childhood. They showed her in college, overseas, the WNBA, from the beginning days of the WNBA to her retiring, right? So I like the timeline. And you also learned a lot more. So I would say journey. What would your word be?
I would say I was thinking about. I knew you was gonna ask me this question, and so throughout the whole doc, I was like, "What would I say?" But the one that kept popping out was, and even till the end, it was like leadership, because I think it showed you what it takes to be a leader, and I think sometimes it's always you think the leader is like up front, you know, and I think Sue Bird was more like showing you how like a leader plays with their team. Like the leader is guiding the teammates, and they said it a few times. Like she lets other people shine and stuff. And I think when she had those surgeries done and she kept getting injured. Um, it was kind of like it was a setback, but it was also the route that showed her that like, okay, I have to rely on my team even more. So you're like, even though she's the face kind of the team, she showed you like this is what my team can do, even when I'm not at my strongest.
Okay, leadership. That was a great word because she's one of the best point guards in the game and one of the best leaders of the game. Because, she's definitely not the most loudest, but she doesn't need to be. She knows how to. Because sometimes when you are the star of the team, you don't know how to play with others or share the ball. But, she knows how to do that. And you got to be they call the sometimes point guards like an extension of the coach, like the coach on the floor, the floor general. She can do that. And sometimes being a leader is hard, because you got to worry about your own self, but you got to worry about all your other teammates too. And that's a big responsibility. 10 other girls, different personalities, but I think this showed really great essence of the WNBA because Sue Bird played for 21 years, right? And so she's seen the WNBA where it was like real low to now where it's at its peak now. So I thought that's great, because she's seen the peaks and the valleys of, you know, the sport. Um, did you have a favorite scene in the movie or um favorite basketball scene? Because of course I love the basketball scenes, and I like that they went from year to year, game to game. I mainly love the type of basketball plays that you see her in high school and college, um, because I'm more up to date with her with Seattle. But seeing her in um, high school, Christ the King, and seeing her with UConn, I was never a fan of UConn. I was always like, they win a lot with Gino. Never been a fan of Gino, but I was always the underdog. Like I was rocking with Candace Parker, and Pat Summitt. I liked Brittany Griner. Um, but people went to UConn because they win. So do you have a favorite scene?
This is gonna be kind of messed up. Well, I say I got two. One will be with her and her wife. Just seeing how they bond and their connection. They're both hilarious. They have me laughing. But I love that bond they have and like the passion they share for like justice for Black people specifically, but for queer people and things like that. And I like how they were honest about it too, where they were like, back then you just didn't talk about you know your sexuality, your identity, or any of that. And so like we're in a different time now where like even the legends we've seen growing up is starting to come into their own true self. And so, but that was one of my favorite parts. The other part, it's going to be messed up, but I only say it's one of my favorite parts of the documentary because it's what got me the most, like it got me more engaged with it more because it took it to a dark turn with the Shabtai.
The Shabtai.
Shabtai guy, remember when well when they went overseas to play in Russia. I'm trying to ring the bell. I'm trying to make a sell. I'm trying to tell these niggas I need a motherfucking wishing well. Remember, and they found him gone. They found him dead. He got killed.
Yeah, Yeah, I think he was like the owner of it. I don't know if he was the coach,
Oh, he
but
was the owner.
he was like the owner.
But it took a dark turn, and that's where I started listening even more because I'm like, what is this going? Like, and then Terezi was like, oh, I saw his body. I'm like, what? What?
Oh,
I'm
we should
like,
be
that
laughing.
traumatic is so I'm like, are you good? Because that's the first question I wanted to know because but also when Sue's mom was like, I don't want her to go to Russia, like I'm like, no, I feel you. But again, I like how this documentary showed like the other one we watched, um, where they talked about why WNBA players have to go overseas to make money, 40,000 in the US versus 500K out of the country. It's like, but same country in the US, 40,000 for the WNBA. That's that would never even be thought of with the NBA. Like they getting at least 1 million.
Yeah,
That's easy. Like, oh, let me get a quick meal.
and some
And,
of them don't even play.
right, like you just on the team, you got the jersey on. But um, yeah, this is a good doc.
Yeah, if I'm playing overseas, I'm definitely watching the news more, which ones I shouldn't be going to. I would want to go to somewhere it's not dangerous because you always hear in the movies the Russians. But yeah, I thought they would talk about it a little more because they addressed it, but they didn't go deep in it. And it also, I think what was sort of funny about it, because it's almost turned the documentary into like a crime documentary, the
Right.
way it was going. But they didn't go deep with it because probably they don't know much. They just know he was filthy rich and he wanted to win, so he paid the best players. But where did the money come from? The money probably could have been, earned a dirty way, but
It's like
the
Ghost. It's
players
like
just like,
on Power.
we don't know.
How did James St. Patrick get that money to buy truth? Huh? Hmm?
The drugs, But yeah, we don't know. And then he probably created some enemies based off of that money he was making. So,
Somebody was after him for sure.
because I do remember there was one season where Diana Taurasi did not play in the WNBA because I don't know what year this was, because she was paid 1 million not to play in the W. They was like, no, we want you fresh for our season. So she's like, deuces W. Uh,
For real though.
yeah, a lot of players played overseas. Candace Parker did it. A lot of more players are doing it, but they are starting this new league. There's two WNBA players that are starting this new 3-on-3 league called Unrivaled, and it is starting January, and they'll so instead of playing overseas, they'll get paid to stay here.
Oh,
And I think that's cool. There's a lot of different WNBA players in it. Enrique from Milwaukee is going to be in there. Angel Reese decided to play in there. So the stars are coming out, and I think not only do the players get paid a lot of money, but I think they get to own part of the league. I don't know what percentage they get to own, but I guess depending on like how much merch they sell and how well the league does. I hope the league does well. I'll definitely be watching. Um, and we don't know where they'll be broadcasting, but back to the W. Uh, the basketball scenes were my favorite. But yeah, I probably would say a non-basketball moment was when they were they were talking about all that she's helped with the league, I guess, like the collective bargaining agreement and the say her name campaign. I like the off the court stuff because she's played with women who have children and black women, so she really genuinely cares about those things. So I thought that was dope. And I guess another non-basketball scene, the old commercial. I never seen that commercial where the WNBA was showing the women with the cars. I was like, whoa, I never seen that commercial. Because I guess they tried to make them look like ladies and, try to use that sex appeal and the cars like a music video. But Aneka Egwumike was even saying recently, like, I don't feel like the players should have to do more. We shouldn't have to lower the rims or wear booty shorts and, you know. um, but yeah, that is one of some people be like, oh, I don't want to watch it because the girls are too masculine. Like, no, some girls do wear, boyish outfits, tomboyish outfits, but there are some that wear skirts and everyone's different. Also, there's some gay athletes that wear both. They wear skirts and, boy clothes. Um, if you're just looking at a certain person or you're not broadening your horizons, and like some people are like, oh, they play too slow, they're boring. Well, maybe find a team that plays fast and that's entertaining for you. You're just judging it based off of a part of a game. But I think, what was a moment that made you, oh, you might pick the Moscow one, but I was gonna like a shock effect. Like, what made you go, "Ooh, I didn't know that"? Because I know you've been watching more WNBA games and more WNBA documentaries, but did you learn anything new or that makes you go, "Whoa"?
I like. I think that CBA agreement you were talking about. Um, I like how it's more in writing, um, where they can provide for their families. How they created their own contract, and they
Yeah.
through. I think that was something I learned because I only heard about the conversation of that would be nice, but to see that they're changing, and even they're like changing the game. I like that.
Yeah, because some of the things that you would think they already had, they didn't have. Like I think they was doing it in 2020. I think every 8 years they're gonna review it and do a different contract. But I think when this came out, they didn't really have like their own hotel rooms, like they had to share a room, or different pregnant women didn't have certain benefits that they do now. And people are like, you guys didn't have this? And they're like, no. And so I was like, whoa. Um, uh, what else didn't they have? Well, I guess child planning, maybe daycare, paid off, time off. But you know what? I think Bird had said something like a carbon copy, like it was just for the males, and so they had to work stuff in with for grown women, not just the males, right?
Mhm.
But I also liked. Oh, I forgot to talk about when it was a woman owner of the Atlantic Dream, and voters didn't like how she was talking, so they was like urging people in Atlanta, Georgia, and Georgia to vote for someone else because I guess she had made some comments that were not very pleasing to women and black women. So I really like how the WNBA is they choose a lot of activism. Um, Whereas I feel like they're more active than the men. Like they are active, but not as active as the men to me. But if there's anything you would change about the W or think they still need to improve, what would it be? I think mine would be um, to make sure the retired players get some benefit for the growing now league. Like a lot of players that made this league grow, I don't think they get a pension. Like for the NBA, I think you have to play like 10 years and then you can get a pension. But I don't think it's in a CBA where they can get that. So I think making some type of rule where you could compensate the retired players like a Sue Bird. Because even Sue Bird was like, the changes that they're making won't really affect the players that are playing now. It's more so for the future girls, you know? So I think I would change that. What would you change about the W? Or improve, upgrade, you know?
Hmm. I say just keep promoting it um, in different ways, more representation of the WNBA. Put them back on those TV shows. Put them back on in the movies. Put them in the music videos. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
we want to spread more awareness. It's a song out every day. A new song out every day from artists you have never heard of. Throw them in there. You know, um, keep doing these documentaries. I think that what they're doing now is, you know, the internet is exploding in ways it's never had before. So it's like, I think just keep putting them out there and the right people will gravitate toward it.
Yeah, yeah. The W definitely needs to do a better job with marketing. And I think marketing each team and more individuals because everyone's going to know Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. People really know Asia Wilson. People know Candace Parker and Brianna Stewart. They know Brittany Griner, Deanna Taurasi, but they don't know, a lot of maybe the sixth woman, on
And
the team.
I think also too, like, I'm not trying to make this political, but Kamala Harris is that might be potentially one of the first women to be president, and that says a lot with how the U.S. runs versus all the other countries. Like, you know, everybody, all the WNBA players gotta go overseas to make what they are worth, closer to what they're worth. And it just speaks to where the US is now. And it's like we got potential. I think putting a woman in office could set a whole new tone for the WNBA and for other sports with women and things like that. So I think they can do all they can do, but it's like the country got to change too. And I think we're slowly turning that and making a change. And so, but yeah, that's what.
Sometimes it starts in the household, making that change so your children can grow up to make that change.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes, they figure it out in their own minds. But yeah, that would be dope if like because I'm pretty sure a lot of the WNBA players will support Kamala Harris because,
Yeah.
black women power. Hey, just like your Say Your Name campaign. Well, that was very tragic, but they do a lot of supporting. To wrap it up, how would you rate this film? And not only that, but what did you learn from Sue Bird?
What I learned is from Sue, if you love something, work hard at it. I think it's the mind. At one point in the docket, someone has said like Sue can play as long as until her body tells her to stop. And I just thought like, well, it's her mind that's keeping her in the game and keeping her strong. And so she taught me like perseverance, consistency, don't give up mentality. And so I would rate this movie. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5 stars because it took me a little bit to really pay attention, but other than that, pretty good documentary.
I would rate it 4 out of 5. It was really good. Learned more about off the court WNBA and off on the court, and you saw her, through different stages throughout her life, and the different sides and different layers of Sue Bird, and of course the clutch shots and the clutch passes. Um, Only reason I wouldn't give it a 5 is just because I have seen better basketball documentaries. But this one is good. I just can't, give it a 5. And I guess what I learned from Sue Bird is perseverance. Like she had several injuries and she had to change some things. PG is free, back with the Mercury. Dominate with dunks in the paint.